A very warm welcome to all the students in my second lecture, which is continuation of my previous lecture on Introduction to Artificial Intelligence. In the last lecture, we had stopped by discussing what are the different branches in artificial intelligence. Now mainly see, this is a problem that I am facing as a AI teacher in the subject. So whenever a student comes in this semester and is supposed to learn AI, the very first question the student asks, so are we going to learn machine learning? Are we going to learn NLP? Are we going to learn robotics? Are we going to learn deep learning? Are we going to learn data mining, machine vision? So let me tell you, looking at these branches, one thing is very clear, that AI is a very vast subject, so vast that each of its branch, or each of its sub branch, itself is another subject, itself is another field. What are we going to do here in this subject, AI? In AI, we are going to see the basics of the subject, the basics that will help you to go ahead with the branches of AI later on. So AI as a subject in this particular 6th semester is, in essence, is going to be introduction to the basics that are required for you to go ahead and take up individual branches. Then in the later semesters, maybe in the fourth year, you can choose specialization subjects, like you can choose machine learning, you can choose neural networks, or you can choose NLP, you can choose robotics, and so on. Information extraction, data mining, machine vision, all this are basically emerging out of a common branch that is called as AI. With this idea, let us proceed and let us see each branch. Artificial intelligence, as I have already told you, it is basically a field of computer science that is dedicated to study the computer software making intelligent decisions, reasoning and problem solving. So in general, AI is a branch which studies how to make computers, systems, software intelligent, enabling it to take decisions, to make reasoning and also problem solving. As we have already seen, machine learning is a sub branch of AI. Now it basically focuses on getting machines to act without being programmed, or to do so. Machines, they learn from the pattern they recognize and adjust their behavior accordingly. So in this machine learning, basically we are going to have algorithms wherein a supervised or unsupervised learning will be induced to the machine, so that they can learn, and from that they can deduce the answers, they can give the output. So that is machine learning. Now machine learning has a subdomain that is called as deep learning, that we are going to see shortly. Next branch of AI is natural language processing. Basically this is this particular branch enables computers to understand or process the natural human languages and derive meaning from them. So NLP typically involves machine interpretation of text or speech recognition. Now you please recollect the formal languages and automata ALC subject that you had studied in the 5th semester, in which you had seen context-free grammars and so on. So basically all those automatas that you had seen, context-free grammar, these are basically going to be helpful in natural language processing. Let's proceed. Data mining. Now data mining is another branch of AI which is taken up as a separate subject in the later semesters. Data mining basically is the process by which patterns are discovered within large sets of data with the goal of extracting useful information from it. Now in databases, the data is comparatively small, but we do have something called as data warehouses where data is extremely huge. So mining information or extracting information from very huge large set of data is basically data mining. One or two steps ahead of databases. You can say it is kind of database management with intelligence. Deep learning, as we know, it is a subset or sub branch of machine learning that usually has, it uses specialized algorithms to model and understand complex structures and relationships among the data in the data sets. So in deep learning, you will be having different kind of neural networks studied, like convolution neural networks and so on. All this will be deep learning. Deep learning itself is another subject. Okay. Further, we have big data. Big data is, today it is one of the trending subjects. Okay, it is one of the hot topics in the industry. So the volume, variety and velocity of the data create challenges for the data processing systems. So when the data is big, there are algorithms which actually work with this data to get something useful. So that is big data. Then algorithm, a formula that represents a relationship between things. It's self-contained, step-by-step set of operations that automates a function like a process, recommendation or analysis. And finally, there is another subject called as neural network. It's a computational approach that loosely models how the brain solves the problems. And when I say brain, human brain. So it tries to relate the human brain functioning and tries to map that with the machine's functioning. So you have natural neural network that is there in human beings. Here it is trying to simulate the same thing with artificial neural networks. Okay. So brains human brains usually solve problem with the layers of inputs and outputs. So rather than being programmed, the networks are trained with several thousand cycles of interaction. So this was just a brief introduction of each of these areas of specialization, branches and sub branches of AI that you can take up later on as you proceed in the later semesters as specialization areas. Uses of AI. Okay. Now broadly speaking, AI is used in internet and cloud. Okay. Image classification is a very important area. Okay. Wherein randomly when the image is given, it not only identifies the image but it can classify the image into different categories. It is image classification, vastly used by Facebook, by Pinterest and so on. Then language processing is another area. E-commerce tagging, digital personal assistants. We already have heard about Amazon's Alexa, Apple's Siri. Then product recommendation systems. For example, in Myntra, you must have seen that Myntra recommends another. Say you have chosen a shirt. Myntra will also show you or recommend you the matching pant and other accessories and so on. There are so many other things. Okay. In healthcare today, that's a second category. AI is used heavily. Okay, we all know we are now using wearable health data recognitions. For example, you have fitness bands, we have smart watches and these kind of things, wearables. Okay, also AI is mainly used for cancer cell detection. Okay, diabetic grading, drug discoveries and so on. So in healthcare heavily relies on AI these days. Also the media, for example, video searching, captioning the videos, programming recommendations. For example, Netflix and Comcast uses it. Virtual and augmented reality. All this is also heavily dependent on artificial intelligence. In place of security and defense, face detection, video surveillance, geolocation, real-time objects and threat detection. For example, detecting explosives and matching faces to criminal databases in real time, and all this kind of security stuff. Okay, also uses or relies heavily on AI. And nowadays, even in wars or in hostage situations, even in surgical strikes, they use drones for capturing the images and the locations. Okay, so everything is heavily dependent on AI when the security is into picture. And of course, industrial automation. For example, store automation. Amazon's new grab and go supermarket, as you must be hearing, that uses store automation. You have factory automations, drones for automations, investment and insurance automation, self-driving automobiles. All these are automations. Okay, mainly people are now searching for luxuries, better lives, and this can be given to them by AI enabled machines, okay, which can do the things automatically. Now, as I was talking about the AI game playing applications, in 1997, okay, IBM, they came up with a Deep Blue chess playing program, okay, a supercomputer called Deep Blue, which was basically, playing chess, right? It defeated the world champion of that time, Garry Kasparov, in so many number of times. So this is a power of AI enabled computer. Okay, so Garry Kasparov was a world champion, was defeated several times by the Deep Blue program of IBM. Another example, IBM had came up with something called as Watson in 2011. Okay, Watson was a Jeopardy playing automated app or application. So it actually defeated all-time greatest Jeopardy champions. These are the two greatest Jeopardy champions. Okay, it defeated those two Jeopardy champions. You can see that the dollar score here. This is 77,000, and these are the much lesser scores. So this is another example of AI games. People must be playing Dota. So OpenAI bot, it remains undefeated against world's greatest Dota 2 players. Okay, those people who must be playing Dota must be knowing about this. And you can just see the tweet by Elon Musk. Okay, he says OpenAI first ever to defeat world's best players in competitive esports, vastly more complex than traditional board games like chess and Go. Now this was commented in 2017. Okay, we are in 2021, so much more advancement have already happened. Okay, now many a times, students while talking about AI, they talk about machine learning, and the very first question they ask is, what is machine learning? Okay, is machine learning something that we are going to study in AI subject or no? For that we require to know what is in general machine learning. Okay, so remember, machine learning is a subfield of AI. It involves construction and study of systems that can learn from the data which is already present. So you have something called as test data, you have something called as training data. It's evolved from pattern recognition and computational learning theory, that is your ALC. It is a subfield of artificial intelligence, and it studies algorithms that iteratively learn from data. Machine learning, it makes predictions. It finds hidden insights without explicit programming. This is very important comment. Types of learning. In machine learning, there are three types of learning. We have supervised learning, we have unsupervised learning, and we have semi-supervised learning. Supervised learning is the one in which we rely on the algorithm that is trained by human input. So it is humans which initially train the system. Okay, and after training the system, they come up with something called as a rule, okay, or a model, and then model can do the further learning on its own. So supervised learning is the one wherein the algorithm relies on the trained human input. This reduces expenditure on the manual review for relevance and coding. Exactly opposite to this is unsupervised learning, where there is high reliance. In unsupervised learning, there is high reliance on the algorithm for raw data. Okay, large expenditure on manual review for relevance and coding. Basically, this simply means that unsupervised learning is the one wherein there is no much supervision from the human end given to the machine. So machine, it learns, it relies on the raw data. Okay. Now example of supervised learning is nothing but your neural networks. Whatever learning that happens in neural network, mostly it is supervised learning. When you talk about unsupervised learning mechanisms are something like clustering, data clustering, and in clustering also there are different algorithms like k-means and all that. Okay, so these clustering algorithms are basically used for unsupervised learning. And semi-supervised learning is basically a trade-off between supervised and unsupervised learning, where there is reliance on analytics trained by human input and automated analysis using the resulting model. So there are three types of learning. Although this is just the second lecture, this is just the introduction. In depth, whatever it is, we are going to see in the later modules. Also, there is reinforced learning or reinforcement learning. Algorithm is continually being trained by human input and can be automated once maximally accurate. That's called as reinforcement learning. We are going to see a method using this reinforcement learning in the later modules. Example of machine learning apps. You must have heard about or you must have seen Google Translate. Now here there is a signboard with some different language you cannot read. So using Google Translate you can actually see the access to city. So this is the English version of that thing, right? Also Google's self-driving car. Google had come up with a self-driving car which was kind of success. Okay. Then later on there were some issues like there was an accident and so on, and because of this court cases and all, it's on hold. But Google's self-driving car is a very good example of machine learning. We already have Hey Google, okay, Google Voice Search, okay, and Gmail. In Gmail there is a spam detection, automatic spam detection in your Gmail. Okay, all these are machine learning applications. Next, also we have YouTube playlist content curation. For example, you must have seen this. If there is a viral clip, it will go under viral clip. Okay, there are two videos. So whatever videos you have, it automatically curates the content. It creates different folders, you can say, and or different categories, you can say, and it categorizes based on your views. Okay, it categorizes your videos as favorite videos or viral clip or trailer or music or and so on. And that's content curation. This is also done using machine learning. Facebook, it uses facial recognition, okay, heavily machine learning. Also you must have heard about chatbot army of the Facebook. This is also on machine learning, and there are many more. Machine learning has wide spectrum of applications including spam email detection, machine translation, that is language translation, image search, similarity. Okay, so for example, if you click a photo, you can search for image which is similar to this one. Okay, that is image search. Then you have clustering. I was just talking about k-means. Amazon recommendations that you get on Amazon site, they are using clustering, that is k-means algorithm. This is unsupervised learning algorithm that is being used, k-means clustering algorithm. Then classification. For example, in Google News there is classification. News is classified into different like business, sports and so on. That's classification algorithm. This is supervised learning task. Sorry, then there is text summarization. Again in Google News, if there is a big news article, it is summarized into a paragraph. Text summarization is also it falls into the domain of machine learning and a bit of NLP. So Google News is an example for that. Fraud detection of credit card providers. Here also basically clustering can be used for outlier detection and so on. So machine learning is widely used for fraud detection of credit cards used by credit card providers. Speech understanding. For example, your iPhone with Siri, okay, or maybe Cortana, Microsoft Cortana, or Google Assistant. They understand the language of the owner. Okay, so understanding it requires getting used to the accent, getting used to the way of talking and so on, right? So this is much speech understanding, and this is machine learning task. Face detection. Facebook's photo tagging, okay, automatically detecting whose face it is, comparing it with the existing photos and all. This is also heavily machine learning task. Next we see deep learning. Okay, now as you can see here, artificial intelligence, okay, its subcategory is machine learning, and machine learning within it has a subcategory called as deep learning, although these three are different subjects altogether. Now when you talk about artificial intelligence, the main concern is perception, reasoning, planning. So this is what in general you are going to learn in artificial intelligence. Then within that, machine learning is a subpart. Along with perception, reasoning, learning, planning, there is also machine learning, which is a subpart of artificial intelligence, which focuses on optimization, computational statistics, supervised and unsupervised learning, and so on. Now within machine learning, there is a category called as deep learning that focuses on neural networks, distributed representations, unsupervised feature engineering, hierarchical explanatory factors, and so on. So basically your deep learning frameworks by big tech companies I mean, you must be already knowing about it. I am just showing you here. Google uses a deep learning framework called as TensorFlow. This TensorFlow framework is on Python. It is used with Python, and many students use this TensorFlow or Keras by Google, okay, for their projects in deep learning or machine learning. So TensorFlow and Keras. You see the popularity of growth of TensorFlow. Okay. Similarly, Facebook it uses its own deep learning framework, that is Caffe 2. Amazon has DSSTNE. This is a framework by Amazon, and Microsoft uses CNTK. Okay, so these are the different frameworks of deep learning by big tech companies. You can explore more by searching all these into Google. Okay, at least Google ones, they are free. Natural language processing. What is NLP? It is study of interactions between computer and the human languages. It is also a subfield of AI. What is the aim of NLP? It is to build an intelligent computer that can interact with human beings like a human being. That's very important. And this will happen only when the computer can very well understand the language that human speaks, and then it can, after understanding, it can, come up with the answer and then reframe the answer into a proper language that human can understand. So this basically requires natural language understanding and processing. Okay, now NLP basically is combination of computer science, AI, and computational linguistics. So the language is taken as input by the computer. This is the natural language spoken by a human. Computer prepares the answer. It understands the human language. It processes the answer, and that answer is also given out as a natural language. Okay. Whereas this part is an understanding part where computer tries to understand. Okay, so this is called a natural language understanding, NLU, and the later part, that is computer generating the answer and giving it in the proper natural language, that comes under natural language generation, or NLG. Fine. More we will explore in Unit 3. Speaking of robots and IoT, now robotics and IoT are also very hot terms in today's world. Let's talk about the robots. Now there are different types of robots. You have industrial robots, basically used for repetitive tasks and inspection of pipes on the sites, which are not easily accessible to humans. Even in the boilers and all, wherever human there is a threat to human life, or there is less accessibility to humans, there these industrial robots are in use. Then there are educational robots. Basically they are used for teaching and training students and so on, right? Then there are medical robots. Doctors use this robotic surgical arm in precision surgery, telemedicine, and so on. So these are the medical robots on the category. And then there are household robots and helper robots, which can carry out household tasks and assist aged and infirm people. Okay, so many such examples you would find on the internet. You can read more about them. So these are different types of robots. Also today, in the today's world, we have more important on military robots. They are used in war zones to support troops. Fine. Now robots which are also used for surveillance as drones. You must have seen the recent surgical strikes for example in Afghanistan, okay, or sorry, in Pakistan, to locate Osama bin Laden. Okay, for this drones were used. Similarly, in India also, for the surgical strike that was carried out, drones were used for assisting, right? Then so these are military robots. Scientific or research robots, they are used in chemically contaminated areas, then they are used in outer space, etc. Okay, Mars rover is one of the examples, and we recently had a mission on the moon, Chandrayaan. There also the robots that were used were scientific or research robots. One example is in Japan, Fukushima, robots used for cleanup operation at Fukushima nuclear reactor. This is a place where there is a threat to the human life. In such areas, Japan has already used this kind of scientific robots. Some example, ASIMO, Advanced Step in Innovation Mobility. Okay, it's a humanoid, okay, which was which was made public in October 2000. This humanoid robot was meant to be multifunctional mobile assistant. Okay, its height was 130 centimeters and it weighed 55 kgs. It could walk or run with the speed of up to 6 kilometers per hour. That's pretty good. And it could kick a football, climb stairs. Okay, its first public appearance was in US. Okay, rang the bell at New York Stock Exchange. Okay, and also featured in Say Hello to Honda's ASIMO show in the USA at the Innovations attraction in Disneyland. As a gesture of support for performing arts, conducted a performance at Detroit Symphony Orchestra. So this is an example of already existing robots. See the kind of technology which is already existing. So when you all are going to work in AI later on, understanding the basics, you all have to go one step in advance. Okay, these up till this technology is already there. These kind of robots are already there. Another example, Atlas, which is a dynamic humanoid. Okay, it is almost 6 feet tall. Okay, 330 pounds and 28 hydraulic joints were there. This is developed by Boston Dynamics with funding from US Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. Okay, it uses lasers and cameras to navigate different terrains and locate objects and use tools. Extensive applications are in disaster situations, providing search and rescue service to situations that would be unsafe for humans. A very useful social cause is there, okay, for development of this particular humanoid robot. So this is already there. Now what are we learning in this particular subject? Okay, remember the first unit that we are going to see is reasoning and problem solving. Okay, problem solving is a domain wherein for example, game playing and problem solving, these are domain which comes actually under formal tasks, as we have already discussed. In the first unit, we are going to see different algorithms. For example, A-star algorithm, best first search. There are so many algorithms. They are basically state space search algorithms. And state space is nothing but it is a kind of a problem space. Okay, we will see this later. So in the first unit, okay, what we are going to do is we are going to see how in AI problems can be solved. Now there are some problems which require enormous amount of memory and processing time. So the algorithms that we are going to study, okay, will help reduce this. Also in unit 1 we will see the problem solving and search techniques in depth, right? In unit 2 our focus will be on knowledge representation. How can I teach what I understand to computer? Remember, computer learns from experience. The AI agent, it learns from an experience. But where is this experience stored? There has to be some knowledge base, right? How knowledge is represented, how the data or information is stored, and how inferences are made to this knowledge. All this we are going to see in unit 2 under knowledge representation. Okay, so in unit 2 we will learn various knowledge representation mechanisms in AI. Now in unit 3 we are going to study three different things. We are going to see planning. Now what is planning? Planning is extremely essential for AI. Then we are going to see natural language processing, and we are going to see game playing. Planning, in this we are going to learn what are plans and how planning helps artificial intelligence system. In natural language processing we will see a brief introduction to NLP, not going into the depth, because NLP itself can be explored to the depth in a specialized subject. And in game playing we are going to see some algorithms for playing games, for example a chess game, or for example backgammon, or checkers, and so on, these kind of games, and that can be also used for advanced gaming. And in the fourth unit we are going to see learning in AI, how learning happens in AI, what are the different techniques. Okay, so we will see the different types of learning, and we will see neural network, how neural network induces learning in AI. Then we are going to see in unit 4 expert systems. Okay, expert tasks, expert systems. Now before we conclude with this particular lecture, let us see what are the career opportunities that you all have if you give serious interest, or if you dedicate seriously into AI. Okay, you can become a knowledge engineer. Okay, you can become an expert systems developer, robotic system engineer, game AI developer. You can become a gameplay developer. You can become a natural language processing architect. You can become a computational linguistic, the one who works with the language aspect. You can become a data miner. Okay, everything pertaining to data mining, big data, and so on. You can become a database analyst or a data warehouse architect. Also, you can become a business intelligence expert, a Prolog programmer. For your information, Prolog is a programming language that is, and there is also another one, Lisp and Prolog. These are the programming languages which are used for AI. We will be learning Prolog in the practicals. Data conversion engineer. You can become a data conversion engineer. You can become a computer vision engineer, visual computing expert. You must have heard about augmented reality, virtual reality. These are the hot topics today. So you know, this has got a lot of scope. You can become a web intelligence developer. You can become artificial intelligence researcher, and you can become a speech architect. So these are various possibilities that you have. Let us see what was the approach of Google in 2000, where there was no much AI into picture, and how that approach changed today. So this is the statement by Larry Page, CEO of Google, in October 2000, where he says artificial intelligence would be the ultimate version of Google. Would be. So that time it was not. We are nowhere near doing that now. This was in 2000. Further he says, however, we can get incrementally closer to that, and that is basically what we are working on. So in 2000, Google was actually striving to be AI, striving to incorporate AI into its operations. Now you see the same Larry Page, his comment in April 28, 2016. Now he says, we have been building the best AI team and tools for years, and recent breakthroughs will allow us to do even more. We will move from mobile first to an AI first world. So see how the different companies like Google, Microsoft, Facebook, they have changed, they have progressed from no AI to advanced AI level. You must have heard about these big tech companies which are directly using AI. You have heard about Google DeepMind. You can search about it by Google. You have Facebook AI research. You have OpenAI. You have Baidu research. You have Microsoft research. Of course, you have Apple and you have IBM Watson. So these are the big tech companies that that heavily depend on AI or use AI. Now in Google, we have Google.ai. So these are the different AI packages that are available or given by AI, which Google also uses. You have TensorFlow, which is Google's machine learning system. You have second generation TPU, that is Tensor Processing Unit for TensorFlow Research Cloud. For machine learning, there are different APIs. You can search on Google if you are interested, and you can see these are all the API: Google Cloud Machine Learning Engine, Google Cloud Jobs API, Google Cloud Vision API, speech, natural language, translation, video intelligence. So basically, Google has entered, it has just entered deeply into the AI, and it now today it has different APIs that you can readily use for your project for machine learning. Similarly, AI in Google products like Google Assistant or Google Lens, the products also reflect the power of AI. Facebook, okay, this is a picture in 2016, Facebook's F8 Developers Conference, which was held in April 16, where Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, he tells about company's 10-year roadmap, right? So here also in the roadmap he heavily mentioned use of AI. Elon Musk, Tesla, okay, Elon Musk's Neuralink will plug AI into your brain and it may cure degenerative brain disease along the way. Now this is one of the posts in 2017. Okay, Elon Musk has tweeted long Neuralink piece coming out, okay, in about a week. Difficult to dedicate time, but essential risk is too high not to. Okay, so you see the mentality of this, these techies to do something good for the society, for the humanity using AI. Top 10 hot AI technologies since 2017. Okay, see, 38% of enterprises are already using AI and growing to 62% by 2018, and today we are in 2021, up to 80% at least, all of them have entered AI. And what are those 10 hottest AI technologies? You have natural language generation, speech recognition, virtual agents, machine learning platforms, AI optimized hardware, decision management, deep learning platforms, biometrics, robotic process automation, text analytics and NLP. So these are all the hottest AI technologies that the industry uses today. 100 startups using artificial intelligence to transform industries. So you can just have a glance at all different, we have listed 100 startups that uses AI intelligence or artificial intelligence to for their day-to-day things. In conventional AI bots, conversational AI bots, okay, or in vision, in automatics, robotics, cyber security, business intelligence and analytics, ads, sales, CRM, healthcare, core AI, text analysis, IoT, commerce. You see, you find AI everywhere. Okay, your entire computer science is lame without artificial intelligence incorporated. Okay, just for your information, one question that that always poses in front of us: too much of AI in future, is it really required? Will it not replace human employee? Are the future jobs going to get replaced by the robots? Okay, so let's see. This is something which is already existing. You see the factory workers. So you can see these are the factory workers. They are working in Tesla's factory in California, okay, for manufacturing car. So this is how the factory worker is, and this is already there. It's not a future, but you can just imagine what could be the future. Similarly, in China, no more humans. Foxconn deploys 40,000 robots in China. Okay, this is a pharmaceutical in China. Warehouse logistics. So this is Amazon's automated warehouse that you can see, wherein everything is automated robotics. You will not see a human being inside in the warehouse. So this is how logistics is taken care of with the automated environment in Amazon. Chinese firm halves workers' cost by hiring army of robots to sort out 2 lakh packages a day. The machines are cheaper than human workers and are also more efficient and accurate in sorting out parcels, spokesman says. Okay, this is a example. Postman. You must have heard about Amazon's Prime Air. So this is how, this is a kind of postman that is going to carry your things like letters or whatever, parcels. So this is Amazon's Prime Air, which is already existent. So this is how the future postman would be. Even better it would be. Shipping and logistics. Earlier in shipping and logistics on the ports and all, you would see so many staff involved, but now see, you have everything is automated. You only see the machines. Policemen. Okay, this is how the future policeman would be. Security guard. Okay, a security robot at shipping mall has drowned himself because he couldn't be urged. Okay, there are also some problems with such designs, but we do have this kind of security guards. Fine. Pizza delivery guy. Okay, so this is how your pizza delivery guy would look like. It's basically kind of a drone carrying the pizza for delivery. Chef. So this is the kitchen and you see these robotic arms. The chef who will cook. Driver. Uber and all, they are already in Europe or in US. Okay, they have already they're using this automated driver, wherein you can see here, okay, that there is nobody on the driver's seat. Okay, or even if somebody is on the driver's seat, the car can be auto driven. Okay, there is an option of auto driven. Okay, wherein the AI system, it takes control of the car and you have to just sit back and relax. You can even watch the movies. Farmer. So you see there is no actual farmer, but there is only this tractor and there is some some machine which does the job. So this is automated farmer. Caretaker. So you see this is the caretaker robot which takes care of a patient and so on. So this is all I had to say about the introduction to AI.